Welcome to today's rant. The old way was to choose a profession, maybe at 15 or 18 or 21, and stick to it for the rest of your life. Perhaps your child would even inherit your job or business. But you know what? This has been proven to not be very effective, particularly in today's life. What's really important is flexibility, dipping your toe in, seeing what the water's like before you plunge in. So many people study university and never end up in the job that study prepared them for. They do something completely different. I mean, some do, but often not. And they've spent all those years studying something that they're likely never to use. Wow, we don't have that much time to waste. And I think this is really important to dip your toe into things. Just see if it's for you before committing. And even if you have committed, you can change your mind. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to change careers. If it's not working and you're not getting joy out of it, don't do it. I was having a discussion about this with one of my clients, and he said it was just like dating. And I agree. You don't decide from a profile on a dating website that this is going to be the person that you commit to forever. Now, if you do, that would not be sensible, would it? You have no idea about this person. You don't know if this person's going to work out or not for you. You have to go on a date with them, sit across for them, share a meal, discuss your likes, your dislikes, your interests, see if there's a vibe, see if there's energy between you, see if there's an attraction, and then perhaps you'll go on a second date with them. And in that second date, you might find out more about that person. You might either get to like them a little bit more, or maybe you'll think, this person's not for me, and you won't go on a second date. Maybe you go on a third date because you're starting to like this person. This is sounding like someone that you could maybe spend a bit of time with. And then you might make some kind of commitment to that person and them to you. After some time, that commitment can deepen, that love can deepen, and you find yourself in a deep, rewarding, loving relationship. Well, it's just like the path that's going to make you wealthy. Dip your toe in, date that profession, date that business, test it out. You may not know after the first date. After the first date, you might say, no, that's not what I want to do. And so you don't date it anymore. You stop. Or maybe you go on a second date with it. You dig a little bit deeper, find out more about it. And if you like it, maybe go on a third date with it. And then you might be prepared to start to think about, am I willing to commit to this? It just completely baffles me to think that people would do this with the love of their life or a potential date, but not the one that's going to make them money. It's bewildering. You need to test this out. See what happens when you spend some time in this job or in this business. It may seem like you're a bit of a flibbity-gibbet. It may seem like you're jumping from one thing to another. And I say that's a good thing because if you aren't happy and you don't like your business or your job, stop doing it. Change it. I strongly recommend you to follow the joy in your heart because making wealth and creating wealth should be a joyous experience for you. It should be an expression of who you are. And if you're hating it and not enjoying it, it's just like you're being on a really bad date that's going on and on and on. Stop the date. Make room for the right person. Absolutely. 100%. Now, of course, what happens if you've been happily dating for some time and then some things change? There's no longer joy in that relationship anymore. Perhaps it's been months, perhaps it's been years. Maybe it's not working anymore. You may have tried some techniques to rekindle the romance or rekindle the connection. And I do hope that that works. But if it doesn't, and two people have just become too different, why would you hold that other person back and yourself from finding the next right person? This lesson is not about dating, really. And it's not about breaking up with someone if you're not happy. It's an analogy about your wealth creation journey. Because if you have been happy for some time with the business or the job that you've been using to create your wealth and it no longer connects with you, it's a drudgery, you've been not been able to spice it up with anything you do, then stop, let it go. Let someone else do that business or that job. Someone who loves it, someone who gets a spark from it. And you go on to do what's driving you now, what inspires you now, what interests you now. Don't keep pushing this uphill if it's not the light of your life. And what if you've been jumping from thing to thing and the years are passing and you still haven't found that thing? Well, keep going. You know you might be this close to the goal. There's a beautiful story. It's actually a true story about a man that owned a mining license. And he spent many, many, many years mining in that mine. Eventually, he gave up and he sold the mine. The next person that came in continued mining, and only 1 foot from where the last owner finished, they found the biggest vein of gold ever found. Well, that could be you. You could be this close to finding that one business or job that lights you up and fills you with purpose and gets you very, very rich. So don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of letting something go. You're not giving up. You're just letting go of a bad date. Who knows? The perfect date could be just around the corner. It took me years of jumping from thing to thing to find the thing that really lit me up and worked for me. I've been coaching now, as of this video, 13 years now, full time. That's all I do, and I love it. But I tell you what, if ever coaching didn't light me up and I didn't want to do it, I'd change for sure. Your joy in your wealth creation is the single most important thing. Life is a game, so play well.